So, hello and welcome everyone to the 6th episode of the Automation Let's Play Against All Odds, where we play as a boutique manufacturer of Archanan light roadsters and sports cars. We started in January 1957, now it is February 1973, and we're about ready to design the Series 3 facelift, including the need to adapt one car's engine for the stricter emissions limit, which only affects Farina, not the Lua, so we don't have to change the Roadster engine necessarily. So let's start with the Coupe, and let's now give them the proper name, so that's a Series 3. And here as well. So we haven't gotten anything new and exciting here either. Nope. The brakes was rear disc brakes. Adjusting brake force. And here for the front discs, again, that we don't get stats penalties. Premium 8-track for the interior, and yeah, now it's only 350 more, well, even less than that, and not 400 compared to, so that's that extra, these 8 months extra research have made a difference, a notable one. Don't have to change anything else, so maybe with sportiness, what do you want? Less camber, more camber, less camber. Okay. Emissions, replace the 66 now with a 73. So 66.3 horsepower. So we need to have unleaded fuel, and that's 91. We could think of 85, then we sell it in Archana, because those markets have opened. But we probably not selling anything. No. Because they probably can't afford the cars. We don't have a sort of ultra budget version. So emissions 6, so that's why we need a catalytic converter, and whoa, we still need to do stuff. These are already pretty low. So let's just see. So that's what we had to do. Fuel map. That makes a bit of a difference here. We're running into NOx if we lower it too much. We can optimize for NOx at some point. 80%. Eco carb? Yeah, that's probably what we have to do. Hyper-eutectic helps. Zero quality does help. Okay, we have camp profile sweet spot. That could be gearing too. Nice drop in sportiness. We're gaining drivability though. And this is already pretty long. So we need to pass 3.4. We're at 4.450. I don't think there's really much left of power. So fuel map problem. What does... Yeah, if I optimize for NOx, then I'm getting more carbon monoxide. This is a sweet spot, so I can't lower that. I can't lower that either. Probably have to bite the bullet. Okay, and then optimize for NOx, which doesn't do anything. Quality for fuel, probably. That's, if I need both, then that's cam. No. Cam, we're at some sort of weird sweet spot here. Springs and lifters. Do something. Compression? Nope. 60 horsepower. I don't think this is anything resembling a sports engine anymore. We have now a bit more torque down low thanks to eco carbs. Hang on, they probably need to be resized, and exhaust also because of catalytic converter. Larger carb. So we're back to clawing something. Yeah, 36 is not too bad, and then we can make the headers a bit smaller if we maximize torque. 63.7. This make wing. I've actually made things better. Can I give it back some cam? Yes. Stiffer springs and lifters. So this 64, so we lost 2 horsepower. On the other hand, 1973, everything has become more powerful. What we could also think of is put the 2-liter into our coupe. So it's not outright terrible. Well, let me just check the 0 to 100 time. So it was around 11.4, 11.5 all the time. Now also with the longer gearing, that probably also hurt things. 11.6, actually not too bad. Top speed 160. So what I'll do is simply clone this for the time being so that I have 2 cars side by side. I can compare them, because of ripping out an engine, because I have to adjust stuff like gearing and so it's difficult. I'm just cloning the old 2-liter, because maybe we don't need to change it at all for the lure. So it's the 73 2-liter. So same deal. And what's our baseline? 82.3. So we go for unleaded. 2-way. That's still a way out. Well, we have pretty rich fuel map though. So that's probably... That's subjectively quite a bit easier. Probably need to adjust gearing first. No, actually this is actually fine. Even with this stronger engine. Nice sportiness increase. So we have for 120. Whoa, that made a leap. So 3680. Does this do something? No, not really. 3680, 360, 3470. That's almost fine. How bad is the difference in performance? Not too bad. I probably can compensate a little bit with lower, with higher first gear, which they want anyway, stats-wise. We're running over hydrocarbons. Okay, we'll have to optimize that. First, does hyperotectic... Oh, wow. Well, that's awesome. That was easy. So we can probably now add some quality here, 3350. And then increase stuff again, like No, so fuel map needs to be here. Cam. So this is the sweet spot because CO actually went down with a bit more cam profile. So I should be able to, yeah, more fuel map. Even a little bit. Compression. Nope, doesn't like hydrocarbon. Let's play around a bit with springs and lip. Wow, 76 horsepower. That was in the 80s. Hang on. Sizing. There we go. That's probably better and also probably worse. What we can now do is straight through. Get a bit of power back. That should also help. 81 is not great, but not terrible. Did this make things worse? A tiny bit. That's compression. Oh. This one, okay, this one plus quality doesn't do much here. For hydrocarbons at least. So where are we in our compression map? They are still unused? No, okay. So that's still good. Nope. This cam profile is a very nice sweet spot, so let's compression even more. Okay. So we're at the limit. 0.03. All right. I'm willing to play that game. And I'm probably going to get, if I give it all one quality. Did I increase this piece of quality here? Or was this already the case? We'll probably see in the in the engineering. This is something I'll keep because straight through is new, when we have no familiarity, and same for the catalytic converter. So where are we power-wise? 82? That's not too bad. So some fine-tuning here. Do you want more? Do you want less? No, this was actually exactly right. Want to rev higher? No, you don't want to rev higher. I'm running into conrod problems. I'm beating the emissions on the 2-liter. Let's just check everything else. So this is decent. 9.6 seconds. That's good. I'm gaining 3 sportiness, 1 prestige. I wonder whether this is the thing we should do. A bit more sportiness here. This is still good. Then I give it wider wheels for the extra power. So I need to claw back a bit of drivability. Alright. Stronger brakes in front. Doesn't do anything, stats wise. Plus 1 quality in brakes. Probably can't afford that because I have new rear brakes. Although this gives a nice sportiness boost. Let's play around with that. Oh, I'm getting terminal oversteer in the fast corner, so that's something to tune out with the suspension. So more rear camber. There we go. Okay, so back to what we had before. Ah, now this is proper. Okay, that solves that. Suspension testing. Stiffer front sway bar. Yeah, the likes that. So we are back to almost 5. Yeah, so I think this is what I'm going to keep. So it's the 2-liter coupe. And then I'll probably give this cleaner engine to the Roadster as well. So yeah, basically no real change. So we just optimized things quite nicely and also had some more tech progression. So then yeah, I'm going to stuff the 73 engine into the Roadster, and it's 82 is 82 is 82. So we only have one engine now from now on. That makes it a bit cheaper. So existing engine, the 2-liter 73. We're losing a bit of sportiness. I suspect that is a throttle response, because we took out a lot of fuel map. But everything else is basically unchanged, so that's good. Yeah, emissions. We are not passing WES6, but since we're not selling the Roadster, it doesn't matter. And so here we have to... Yeah, we have to make all the changes, because I deleted the facelift. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to stop the pre-orders. So rear disc brakes, adjust front discs that don't get stats penalties. Probably can get some quality, but let's check how much. What we're looking at with engineering time. Here everything's fine. We are also fine. Yeah, here we don't have terminal fast oversteer. This looks still good. So while we have now one throwaway trim, let me just check one thing out of curiosity. Would anyone care about a 2+2? It doesn't really fit into the lineup because it's heavier than the coupe, but it's simply easy to check, and I don't care now if things are distorted, but they aren't even, so that's good. Give it 2+2, and then check the market. No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. With all things equal, it wouldn't even sell, and we get just a very tiny slice. So one light sport guy or two light sport guys want 2+2 over everything else. So no, okay. So then we can throw this one away. We can also throw away one engine, but let's just... Okay, 2 years is not too bad. So we can add some quality at times. So we can also throw away this one, the 1.673. We're not going to use that anymore. Why do we? That's an interesting coincidence. We have just out of the blue with the random settings that we changed, exactly 20.6 engineering time for both the model and the engine. Well, this is expensive. So only one engine now to build. Does this have big effects? And you have to deselect things manually. Why does this suddenly cost 5.3? Ah, probably the material cost for the catalytic converter. Okay. So what's the relative effect on cost? The 72 doesn't have the cat. No, can't test this. What the difference is of having 1 versus 2 engine for a contract factory, but anyway, doesn't matter. As long as we have the right engine selected. So larger shed, factory. I'm going to work backwards from demand again. So can increase worker quality. Since we have now hired enough for 2.5, or we know enough for 2.5 shifts. So I'm going to replace the major tooling again, but not the overall factory. It's cheap and we don't want slowdowns with two pretty desirable cars, I suspect. Yeah. We could think about a small factory now that we have some cash in the bank. But thinking long term, so our goal was to realize one man's vision of a light roadster, which has sort of turned into the vision of a light coupe, because that's the best seller and not the Roadster. He's now in his 50s, and with all the emission stuff and the safety stuff going on, so we wouldn't be able to sell this car in Farina anymore after 1980, because we can't make 25 safety with even with or we could make it with advanced 70s. Do we already have advanced 70s? So sometimes things are just one click in a game, but not that realistic in real life. Yeah, so advanced 70s. So even with advanced 70s, we can't move the Roadster beyond the 25. We could add quality, but then things get outrageously expensive. And if we look at all this stuff here, which I'm not going to read out, so you can pause if you want. And I think, yeah, what's now invisible is already part of the standard 60s that we have. And all the other things, is that something they would do to their fiberglass bathtub with roots in 1957? I don't think so. So, how much worth, just out of curiosity, how much worth is basic 60s? It's 1.4. Okay, so the Roadsters, I think, barely over the 20, so we wouldn't change that. So, 21. How much is rounded up or down? Since the engine is now a bit heavier, this also plays a bit of a role. Can we get away with basic 60s? No, don't think so. 19.6 plus 1 quality. 20.1. What's the difference compared to standard 60s baseline? It's a bit lighter, but otherwise doesn't really change anything. So let's yeah, keep it at standard 60s. So they wouldn't do, or they couldn't even bring things up to the level that they could still sell this in 1980 in Farina. And as he's in his 50s, he doesn't really want to think of another car at this point, rather thinks more about early retirement, especially with a nice retirement fund once everything is wound down. So this is basically going to be the last facelift to last till maybe shortly after 1980. We can still sell it in the lure. After 1980, maybe just the rest of the stock, and that's going to be it. So that's why now going to a small factory isn't really something that's worth it, because that probably wouldn't really pay itself off that quickly. And so from the pure cost, so 10 million I think is easily doable. We're still getting something for the next 2 years in terms of income, and then on top of that, so now, and we have a good, also a pretty good credit rating here, so that would be feasible in pure gameplay terms, but not in the scenario terms. So we rather make things more expensive, so that we get less demand. Can think of some putting in some tooling. How much difference does that make? So, and we can also reduce the QA threshold, because now our workers don't make mistakes anymore. Why are we selling double the amount of Roadsters than the Coupes? That's weird. So even without much QA, cars still rolling off the line pretty nicely. So we're getting 28 and 15. Let me just reset that. So just the Coupe for the change. Wonder whether this is the bug or a feature what I'm seeing. Why they are producing double the amount of the car less in demand. So this is now reset. And here we are sort of meeting the demand. So yes, item selection, Roadster. Ah, this is better. Yeah, so QA threshold is down. Less automation makes more cars. Is that still correct? 22, 21? No. So we can keep automation up high. Doesn't cost anything. Could even increase it a bit to make even more profit per car. So 22, 21. So that's not decent values. So still way below demand. How much does tooling affect things? So 2 years. '24, '23, so hardly anything. So there isn't simply that much leeway. Getting a slight dip, so we don't have to increase prices that outrageously. So simply making everything a bit more expensive. Even more expensive. Let's keep the Roadster where it is, because the Coupe is the biggest seller. Okay, even more. That's the nice thing about supply and demand. If demand is high, you simply check up the prices. Yep, that's looking good. Okay, so then we can give everything a quality pass. So here we're probably pretty good already. So 4.83, maybe just a bit more quality. So one more in top end, one more in fuel system. Oh, I have even kept the exhaust at +2 despite the new straight through. Difference 23, that's good. A bit more expensive, but I think now we have the money to do that. And this jumps up quite a bit. Okay, some extra quality for our engine, now some extra quality for our cars, so we are at 2 years. Failing safety stand, yes I know, but body age, body age is now playing a role. So trim body, drivetrain, wheels, brakes, something we might not be able to sustain. So interior, we already had that. Steering, not safety, we leave it as it is, and suspension. What's the change? 29. That's quite a bit, but the tooling didn't matter. So then, what's the suspension? Is pretty substantial, and wheels and drivetrain. So let's try suspension and wheels. Those were 1 over or 2 over our tech pool anyway, so those might be a bit too much. I want to keep the body quality for some reliability. Same for drivetrain. Yeah, this works. Compensating with tooling going back to 0, but that's fine. One car more or less per month doesn't make or break things. So body +1, drivetrain +1, no change in wheels. Brakes +1 I think is a big game changer. Aero +1, just a tiny bit of sportiness. Steering +1, that makes a big leap in drivability. And suspension, no change. So this shouldn't affect anything in engineering, and it doesn't. So this is it. So even more expensive. They really love our cars, or everyone has now so much more money to burn in their pockets. Yeah, okay, so I think this should be... can always reduce prices at some point. Okay, so these dips should at least compensate, and this is totally inaccurate anyway, but at least this, yeah, will not overwhelm us outright. Let's make some tiny adjustment that with the tooling change we're not close to any thresholds. Not going up to 3 shifts, that just ruins the factory. So QA thresholds can be still pretty low, so 19 and 19. Can I get... okay, 20 and 19, that's good. Yeah, we don't need any QA anymore. And with less automation, can I get to 2020? No. Can even go full automation. Or okay, then I'll do that. Which means better workers. Yeah, target shift 2 is sensible. So with this having been a longer series of tweaks, but I think pretty useful for the final evolution. And let's put our final evolution back on the road, and also see how the new Coupe fares with the wider tires and the more powerful engine. They're not going to make any external changes. Okay, that was the Roadster. What we need to do for the Coupe, in terms of external changes, we need to do one thing. Give it a dual exhaust, since now the 2-liter engine has a dual exhaust. Doesn't matter in terms of game stats, but it's certainly will be off-putting if we see it in the beam replay. So there we go. The engine has some unutilized fuel octane. It does. But if we add compression... we have now 1 round of quality, so we can probably add some compression back in. Quite a bit, actually. There is quite a bit of margin here. what a round of quality makes a difference. Yeah, so we're still gaining. That's actually quite a bit that we can add back in. I wonder whether this all was... Yeah, and this is the Coupe, so that's the right one. Wonder where that came from. Even more cam is fine. Running into slowly but surely issues, but not that many. This is close. So this should give it a nice sportiness boost. So 1.x margin is great. Good thing we looked again at that. So 3,340 a longer top gear is not that much worse, but has even one more space for fuel map. Yeah, so I think this is much better in terms of sportiness. So then we have to re-export. Yeah, so this looks fine. So we have to re-export the Roadster again. I just changed fuel map, so this should have no impact on engineering. So probably worth an next time, if there were a next time, to do the quality engine stuff first and then optimize for emissions. Okay, exporting the Roadster again. They're both again with the same engine. And here we can check whether we still have a WES4 but are highly suspected. Since this is just a bit heavier, so I suspect we will just miss carbon monoxide a bit for WES6, which we don't care about since we don't sell the Roadster in Frenia. So let's have a look. Okay, we're now way ahead of CO, but 4 is fine, so we can sell this into Lua at infinitum, basically. What's the next one? The Lua, no change. So 4, we are good, yeah, for a very long time. Alright, I think it's time for the final visit to our favorite lone Archana mountain road on a Sunday morning. So first up this time is the Roadster, because there were some small suspension issues with the Coupe, so this one has to run second. And the Roadster hasn't changed much since last time, so let's see how much faster it actually can be with slightly new tires and such. So, a bit faster than the old Roadster, but can't hold a candle to the old Coupe. But overall, a stable, a predictable handling, so this one is certainly ready for production. So the Coupe, now with the 2-liter engine and not the 1.6, and it needed some small fixes to the suspension to be actually, well, derivable. So that's why it's running second and already in the morning sun. So let's see how it does. So this one is right on the edge and fast. So what's that? 4 seconds about faster than the Roadster with the same engine. So that's, I guess, the power of adding lightness. And with the slightly adjusted suspension, it's also then certainly production ready. And now, back to the factory and to the next episode. See you then.